Hey guys, and welcome to your new video. Today another of these kind of videos where I just get into another game that I haven't played yet and just playing it for, yeah, I think a decent amount of time, not like 30 hours or so, maybe 40 hours in the past couple of days. And I want to give you a quick impression of what Grim Dawn Forgotten Gods as a DLC is all about, or especially like Grim Dawn itself. So I would say let's just start into that. This is a video based on my experience that I had as a new player, right? This is not like an in-depth guide, or it's just basically a preview, or at least like what you can expect out if you say, you know what, this looks interesting, I'm gonna pick this one up now. So Grim Dawn is basically an ARPG, same as like Diablo, PoE, Lost Ark, Volson, like all kinds of stuff, but it's a little bit different on that part. I'm gonna mention some points that viewers told me because I was streaming the past couple of days this game, and they said it looks like a lot like Titan Quest. I have never played Titan Quest, but I heard that the creators of Titan Quest do have influence in this game or created this game, so there is some similarity at this point if you recognize that one. But basically, you have your character, you have your inventory, you have your stats, you have your skill tree, you have your dual specialization, you have your devotion points, you have your quest system, you have a map with different acts, different difficulties. There is just a little bit overwhelming, I have to say. I kind of have to think of back in the days when I started Path of Exile, where it was a little bit, you know, you open your skill tree and you're like, what the hell is this, you know? And I kind of get the same feeling in Grim Dawn, so I wouldn't say it's kind of a casual game. It has a lot of in-depth, especially when it comes to gearing, and I'm sure I scratched on the surface of this game. I would say we're gonna make a small gameplay. You see how the gameplay looks like. I'm playing some kind of, this is a, how is this skill called? Bloody Pohx. This is basically, if you play Path of Exile, comparable to an Essence Drain Contagion. So it's basically a disease that does vitality and bleeding damage, and it spreads to nearby targets. Then I also have like a Sigil of Consumption. It's like a circle here. When enemies are in this circle, they get damaged, and I get healed by a portion of that damage. And then I have like a curse that is weakening the enemies. Just for a small explanation what I'm doing with my character. So I would say we're just gonna run into the somewhere at the end content here on the normal difficulty, okay? I want to mention this specifically. Grim Dawn has a total of 100 levels in your character. I'm currently level 61, and I've been through the entire content here, the main campaign, better said, on normal difficulty. Comparable to Diablo 2, we have like normal, nightmare, and talent. Here it is like normal, then it is elite mode, and then there is the ultimate mode, which is the hardest. So monsters get a lot more tankier, a lot more damage, a lot better items can drop, a lot of legendary set items and whatnot. It's like, as I said, I'm just scratching on the surface of what this game has actually to offer, right? So in terms of the playstyle, you have like your monsters here. You can basically, as I said, I'm just applying some kind of dot that is spreading towards other enemies. So I really like this lazy playstyle where I just run around, dot an enemy, and just keep on running here, right? And as I want to mention it again, this is the easiest difficulty, right? You have to think of, there is also a veteran modus, which allows monsters to be even more beefy, and there is more special boss monsters within the area, so you can play like the ultimate difficulty on the veteran modus, something like that. So this would be the hardest of the harder things, right? And as I said, this is the easiest difficulty, so it looks like a little bit easy on that part. As I said, it's just like a normal combat system. You can also apply your what is it called, damage numbers and stuff. I'm using a mod here that shows the differences here a little bit, and also some kind of auto pickup, which is super nice to have. I'm gonna go into that in a little bit later. But yeah, that's basically it. You have some normal monsters, you have some epic monsters, some monsters with like a purple name tag. They always have better experience, and some loot explosions. You have all kinds of items. I have there is a built-in loot filter here where you can show all kinds of items here once they drop. So you see here, they have all kinds of different stuff. It's like, it's hard for me to make a first impression video because here is a purple mob, for example. So they hit a lot harder, they have a lot more HP, they give some better loot and stuff. So we're gonna be a little bit more careful here. So we're gonna dot it up, get it into the Sigil. So I'm actually leeching life of that. Getting health potion in. So you see that these monsters are actually a little bit harder. As I say again, it's on the easiest difficulty. But yeah, this is basically how this game looks like. There is a lot more to talk about, so let's go back to the town here. This is basically the newest expansion that they got. As far as I know, this is the finalized game, okay? So as far as I heard, there is no more expansions coming. So there was the base game, then there was a DLC which is called the Crucible modifier, which is basically a type of arena playstyle. So the further you get, the harder it will get, the better loot you will get, okay? And there's also level depending and so on. So basically at some point when I'm like hitting level 90 plus, probably 94 or 5 or something, where I can actually get the best sets in the game. And trust me on that, there is a bazillion items here. There's a bazillion stats where we're gonna go over in a bit. But I'm just saying that the Crucible modifier is basically an arena type, so every time you defeat one scenario, better said, you just continue in progress, and the further you get, the better the items drop, the more experience you get, the better overall. This is one part here on the DLC. The other one here is with the Forgotten Gods, where you get some kind of rift system based on Diablo. So I can just talk to this guy and say like, okay, open a new rift. I'll go in there, and then basically there is a timer running. So this is like a generic or randomized map with monsters. So this is one type of, or another type of endgame, where I have here a timer, and the more monsters I kill, and this bar progresses up, and then I get like every 5 levels or so. Basically every 5 chunks here, there will be a boss spawn, and then I can progress, like either say, you know what, I'm done with it. I want to get my loot and experience now, or I say like I want to continue. So the shard is basically the level, and every shard, as far as I know, has like 5 chunks here, right? So I'm progressing through the first 4, and the 5th one is then having some bosses, and then the NPC comes and says and tells me like, yeah, do you want to continue or do you want to have loot? And as obvious, if you continue, it's going to get harder. You're going to rank up in shards, so the higher the shards, the more experience, the more loot, the more legendaries, the harder it will get as well, okay? So this is some kind of rift system, what you can do to make your end game more enjoyable. So I don't even know if I can get out of here, probably not. So let's go back to main menu, let's skip that. There was just like one part here that I want to show here in the main campaign. You can also check the Crucible modifier, then I hit the sap, and then I put in start. So I basically spawn into this arena that I was talking before. It's pretty much the same as the shard system. This is just like, this is like the easiest difficulty now, so I'll just start right away so you see that. So we are basically in an arena here, and there is some corners where monsters are spawning. There is a timer, so I'm basically having the time now to kill off these monsters, to progress through this Crucible part, through this end game part, basically on the arena type. If I'm enjoying this, I can do this to get probably the best gear in the game. I'm not even sure about that, because there is so many end game bosses, and as you saw, I just completed the first part, so the timer is now going up. I'm now on wave number 3, and every 10 stages I get here, there will be bosses spawning, and the NPC will spawn after those 10 and will ask me like, you know what, do you want to continue or you want to get the loot, right? So I would say let's just go through the first 10, I would say. So we're now on base 4, so I can just like spawn, hunt them down. As I said, this is, as I said, the easiest difficulty, and this is not really hard at the moment. This is level 4. It goes up to like 170 or so in the certain difficulties, so this is normal, right? So there is still like other game modifiers that will make it way harder. Good, so wave number 6, let's try to kill off these monsters so you see a little bit more gameplay, but this is just one single build out of, I would almost say, unlimited build choices here, because there is so many things that you can go through. I think there's like 10 different classes, and every single class has their own skills, and then you are able, like, you can pick the first class at level 2, I think, and then once you hit level 10, you can apply a second class. So you're gonna make your own different build. For example, my character, if I can pull this one up, is an occultist mixed with a necromancer, and this combination is called the Kabbalist. So the Kabbalist has all other stuff than other characters will have, basically, right? So, for example, my first character, I was going with a melee build, which I used a soldier combined with a Nightblade. The soldier is basically some melee kind of type with a lot of like armor stuff. So here we are on wave 10, so the battle music intensifies. We're gonna get some big bosses here, so we're gonna try to kite this one around because they do actually hurt. But as I said, this is now level 10, goes up to like 170, so you can expect a little bit more harder difficulty here. Good. That is the number 10, I think. Let me kill that one off. Good. Now I got some experience here, and now I can basically talk to the NPC and say like, you know what, I want to continue to make it harder, so we go up like 11, 12, blah, 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 until the end. Or I say I wish to collect my rewards. I'm gonna get another bunch of experience, and then I can probably go back here to the loot chamber, and based on how I performed, I'm gonna get loot. So we're probably not gonna get anything good here because level 10 normal difficulty. Probably not. So you see there's like a lot of items, and based on your loot filter you can show different items, so you're gonna make it a little bit more clear, same as in Path of Exile. Oof. Okay, so I would say let's just get me out of here, or basically we can stay in here. Just talking through some gear parts and what you can expect here. So basically the items we have like main hand, offhand, like the typical things that you have on an ARPG. We have like vitality damage, physical, we have there is like all the resistance types here. You have like fire damage, cold, lightning, then we have poison and acid, we have piercing damage, bleeding damage, vitality, ether, then we have some stun and chaos damage, then there is like normal physical damage, internal trauma damage. There's like, I think it has more affixes, or at least like types of things that you can use than PoE has to offer. So you can really make a very, very specific character based on your skills, basically. Like my bloody Pohx skill is my main skill here. The disease, what I was talking about before, is basically a vitality damaged build that is also using bleed, but I decided to focus on vitality damage because I heard it's very beginner friendly, because a lot of these vitality based skills do give you a bunch of lifesteal, which makes it easier to survive, right? And this is why my gear is basically, every time I pick up items I see here, okay, this one has movement speed, physique, this is one of your main stats here. So basically this is not really something for my build, because I want to check that I get items that have vitality damage attached to them, right? Based and as well as like life resistance and what you need here. So basically, talking about that, as I said before, you have like your typical skill trees here. I have the occultist, which has a lot of like vitality, poison and whatnot. Also like a base of summoner, like I can summon creatures, same as the necromancer. I have here a dozen of skills that I haven't even tested yet. And the good thing here is that there is NPCs that can revert your skill points. So I here just pay some bits here. Bits is like the in-game currency. When you find items, you can sell them and so on. So I say like, you know what, I want to try out something different. So I'm just gonna reset all of these points here, some of those, and this is basically done. So now I have those points unlocked. I can then just say, okay, what is Ravener's Earth, you know? And then I just pick the skill over here, and then I can just spam it over here, I guess. So I see what the skill looks like. It's like a poison over. If I do like it, then I can just like make it stronger. So I, based on what I see, the square parts here is the actual skill, and the circle parts are like making your skill better, like enhancing it with like damage. For example, here I have some Spectral Binding. This is like an aura that I forgot to activate. That is basically giving me some stats like health, offensive ability, and some extra ether damage, which I don't really need because I'm a vitality-based build, but I do like the health and the offensive ability. And if I say, okay, I want to empower this one, I just skill up here the base level, so I get further in this direction here, and then I unlock more skills and more templates, and you get the idea that there is a lot of things to choose from, right? So if I just gonna go to the main menu real quick and log on my Blade Master here. So you see that one as well. This is basically a soldier combined with a Nightblade. The idea of that character was some kind of dual wield madness character. So I have here my soldier, I have here a bunch of soldier attacks, and then the Nightblade is basically like the dual wield option of something, right? So I have here certain skills with like all kinds of blades and I don't know what. So here, as I said, a soldier Nightblade, which makes me a Blade Master. And as I said, there's like 10 or 11 different characters here, where you can mix everything with everybody, basically. I can mix a a mage with a melee type of character, dual wield, spell blade, I don't know, like there is a lot of things to do. So next one would be a devotion system. So based on your campaign, so if I go back here quickly, I need to go into the main campaign back here. So main campaign, sapped start. Let's see how this one looks like. Once you open the map, you're gonna find some shrines, okay? So based on this map here, local map, you see all these checkpoints here. These are all shrines that I found yet. And what these are doing is basically unlock the devotion system, which is basically, yeah, a big, like, star signs, whatnot. You know, if here, for example, we have like an eagle, and if I put points into here, I get like offensive. These are all passives here. But the good thing here is, some of those will actually give you abilities. It's a lot about the combat system, where you get things like proc systems, things that proc when you get hit, things that proc when you crit, when you hit, and so on. For example, what do we have here somewhere? Oh wait, this is now my Blade Master. I was actually thinking that I'm on my other character. Doesn't really matter, let's go to the devotion system. So here I have this eagle, this falcon. I get like physical damage, health, exactly what I need. And here I unlock the falcon swoop, which is a 50% chance on attack. So it means when I'm attacking, I have a chance to proc this one. So a lot of these things will give you certain abilities. So if I say like I'm now on my occultist, which is based on vitality damage, I can just search for vitality damage, and then everything sorts up here that gives you a lot of vitality damage. For example, this cluster here, where you can now spec into that, and this will unlock me the the fatted bull, for example, chance when hit to like make a nova or something, or down here. So basically, small set. You have like your skill points, and then you mix your classes, and once you unlock the shrines through the campaign, then you go into this devotion system, and then have like a bunch of other things that you can unlock about your character. Good. Talking about endgame, what do you do once you reach certain points? This is something I can just speculate here, because as I said, this is a brief overview, what I see after playing a couple of hours here, like 30-40 hours, going through the main campaign, being level 61 out of level 100, so there's so much more to do. So we talked about the Crucible that you can do with the arena system. We talked about the shards, where you can, like this rift-based system where you kill monsters, and every certain stage you unlock bosses, if you like this one more. Then the next part is there is dungeons. This is an open world based type of game where you just run around and just unlock hidden passages, hidden dungeons. There is crafting involved. You need like some kind of skeleton keys to unlock certain dungeons. So basically, let's say you just run around here, and where was actually a part where I was in there? Never mind. Let's say you just walk around in the usual area, somewhere at the end game maybe. If we talk about the last expansion, which is the Corvan Basin, which comes with the Forgotten of Gods, this one here is where the end boss sits, basically, right? Or the Tomb of Heretic here somewhere. So when you're going to there, you usually find some kind of cave or temple or dungeon or something, and you can farm in there, target farm items, target farm bosses, and so on, because you can basically log out of the game, get in again, and then just monsters will respawn. You can really target farm something based on, like, there's certain monsters that will drop certain pieces of armor, right? So it's not like randomized completely. So if I say, hey, I'm an occultist, I need an armor that gives me +2 of my skeletons or whatnot, you know, there are certain bosses that will specifically drop certain loot, so you can really target farm some of the monsters here. And once you go deep into the dungeon, there is usually a passage. I actually have to relog to my occultist, because there is like, my stash is not shared at the moment. So I want to just show you that what is another way of doing so. So if I go back to my stash here, I have gathered some skeleton keys, and these are the keys that you need once you're like at the end game. You get into a dungeon, and then there is a sealed door where you need a skeleton key to actually get into there. So this is this kind of key here, and this is actually then where it's like an end game dungeon. So that means that there somewhere deep into the dungeon is a boss that will drop certain items, for example. Good, what else could I talk about here? And I'm pretty sure once I stop recording this video, there would be 100,000 more things that I would like to mention and whatnot. So I just tried to give you a really good impression on what to expect once you say, like, you know what, this game looks actually hilariously fun, or a lot of things to do, and I'm just saying I played like 40 hours now, and I've been roughly through the main campaign, and now I basically have to log off, change the difficulty, and start all over again, and then go do everything again, and then going to farm again on the ultimate difficulty, and then on veteran modus, and then just unlock more and more things, more and more dungeon to make it as hard as possible. And it's all about min-maxing your character. So I was having a good time here going through the normal mode, where I just not really focus. I get items, I see, oh, there's vitality damage, I'll take it. But at a certain point here, when I was doing the endgame content here, I figured out that I'm like not really a friend of poison, probably because I'm lacking the poison resistance, right? So that means I need to spend some more time now with my character, trying to min-max it, trying to fix my resistance, same as in Path of Exile, to progress through the harder difficulties. Then there is like crafting. You have like components that you can attach to your character with like all kinds of things. There's like, boys, I want to make it short. I can really recommend this game if you want to dig deep into a game where you have to do a lot of things. Like, as I said, I probably just scratched on the surface of this game, and I'm really having a great time. I'm really enjoying this game. It is, though, a single-player game, as far as I see it as a single-player game, because your character files are local. Means that you can manipulate those with certain programs, like, hey, I want this set, okay, log in, and then you have it in your inventory. So this is stuff that you can do if you're interested in that. I just personally think it takes away all the fun of the game, because if I say, hey, I want to have these new, the new chest armor, for example, right? And I figure out that the end boss in this dungeon can drop this one, so I want to farm it, I want to earn my stuff, and then min-maxing my character to try to push in the Crucible modifier to like level 100 plus or something to get there the best rewards in the game, rather than just opening a program and be like, hey, you know, add this, add that, oh, I need 1,000,000 gold, click one button and do so. But that's why I say I'm a legit player when it comes to that. I want to really play the game on this pace, where I just want to find out what can I do in this game, what characters, and as I said, I'm just playing my first character here basically, and there is like so many build options, I don't even know what there's all about. Good. I think that's it for the first quick review. As I said, this is not a guide for this build. It's just, I want to give you a brief showcase. If you say like, hey, I haven't played Grim Dawn yet, and Path of Exile is still 12 or 11 days away, so I'm just lost. What should I do? Wolfson didn't bring me the fun that I wanted to, or Diablo is kind of boring, I'm just lazy, or I just want to play something. I can really recommend this game. I'm really having a good time, and I will continue this game, playing this game for the next couple of days until we're gonna go for the next Path of Exile League, which should be on March 13th with the Delirium League. But yeah, that's about it. If you want to know or learn more about the game, there is 2 content creators that I can really recommend. One is Pohx and one is Lifting Gaming Nerd. Those 2 are making a lot of Grim Dawn content, so if you want to check out some beginner-friendly builds where you say like, you know what, I don't want to be like mbX doing some weird character where he thinks that might be good. I want to go with a guide, which I would recommend, same as in Path of Exile. If you start your first character and just go blindly in your skill tree and do whatever you think is right, you're gonna have a bad time, right? So it's definitely recommended following a guide, but it should be a beginner guide, because I saw a lot of guides that are having really endgame gear with all unique and legendary items and set items or set bonuses that will actually enable certain builds, and if you don't have access to those, it's kind of hard to copy a build like that, okay? So I would really recommend searching for a beginner guide, and I think from my perspective here, I finished kind of all of the normal game mode. I've got all my devotion points now, so I'll log off now, change the difficulty, and just go again, because I'm having a really good time here. Okay, guys, hope you enjoyed this kind of video. Thanks for tuning in, thanks for watching, and see you on the next video.